Part 87. My Ship Girl, My World. Author, Huangming Mu. Chapter 865. The black figure flashed on the vast sea like a ghost. She looked around at the silent sea around her, and then stepped out firmly in one direction. But in the blink of an eye, the scene in front of him changed essentially. The empty sea surface suddenly transformed into a very technological fortress. However, for such a scene, the black figure seemed to be very familiar with it. He did not show any surprise and walked inside with an immersed expression. Not long after, she appeared in a conference hall-like place in the core. She paused for a moment, but didn't stay too long, and then walked in. "You came." A cold voice appeared inside the hall, and then several people turned their heads to look at the black figure who gradually walked in. "Yeah," the black figure hummed softly, sounding emotionless. "Calling me here now means that the first phase of the plan has been completed." "So be it," a white figure said. "If you look closely, you will see that it is an observer of this world. If you follow your plan, the development of the current target port area is still very ideal." "That's right, he is indeed the same person as that one. Commander Qin Ge's Rubik's Cube is highly adaptable, and even maritime legends like Musashi Huteng can be easily summoned. And with Helena's help and the information searched there this time, I believe that the planning ships will soon appear in batches." The person who spoke was surprisingly Hermit, who was wreaking havoc in the sea of this world before. "So when will the second phase take place?" the black figure asked. Key point G, no, Enterprise, there is no need to be too anxious. Everything requires a certain amount of room for development. Although Commander Qin Ge's current fleet strength has developed well, it has not met the requirements for starting the second phase. According to Laplace's prediction, it will take more than a year to wait before he can complete the conversion of most of the ships. Dreamweaver's cold voice sounded, just like what she said when she just welcomed the company in. "More than a year is not a short period of time," the company said. "But it's not too long. At least it's much better than the future where there was only a glimmer of hope before," Dreamweaver said. "So what's the reason for calling me here this time?" Enterprise asked. "You Embers can start taking action. In more than a year, try your best to integrate into Commander Qin Ge's port area," Dreamweaver said. "Understood," the company nodded. These things were all arranged at the beginning. And in order to better provide a stable living environment for ship girls in various time and space in the future, this must be done. How is it over there in the original world? Everything is within the normal scope of development. The adult has balanced the energy of the Rubik's Cube and made it purer. There is nothing else to worry about now. Moreover, after experiencing such a war, mankind has become more rigorous in examining the unknown, and mistakes like before will not happen again. Dr. Anja is still responsible for the development of highly intelligent AI. There is no pressure in a job like this, and you don't have to worry too much," Dreamweaver said. Hearing that familiar name, the atmosphere of the company became much gentler, not as cold and solemn as when he first entered the door. "That's good." Enterprise turned around and started walking outside. "Just let me know if anything happens later." As the company left, calm returned to the hall. At the same time in Guam, the environment here was completely different from that there. He has not been in the port area for several months, and the accumulated work naturally requires Qin Ge to work hard for a day. Although the company takes care of the daily work, some decisive documents have to be kept for Qin Ge's personal review. For this reason, basically no one came to Qin Ge on the first day, and he was happy to relax, looking at the documents and thinking about the future development of the port area. "Commander, take a look at this document." Seeing Qin Ge finish reviewing the document, the company handed a document to Qin Ge and said, "Huh? Is there any more? I thought it was all gone." Qin Ge took the document in confusion and turned to the company and asked, "Well, it's indeed gone, but this document was signed by everyone in the port area." Maybe it can be called the next activity plan. The company was a little hesitant when he said this, which made Qin a little bit. I'm confused, is there something special in this document? With doubts, Qin opened the folder and was immediately attracted by the title of the document. Swimsuit Party, Qin read out slowly, looking sideways at the company, this. Well, this was Daifeng's proposal, but it was approved by everyone's unanimous vote, the company explained. Qin rolled his eyes. Chongying's ship girl could always do something unexpected. But it looks quite interesting. Guam has a Pacific monsoon climate and is also a famous resort. The temperature at this time is neither hot nor cold, so if you hold a swimsuit party, it won't be a problem. Qin soon read the entire document, looked up at the company and said, how did I find that there was only a proposal, but no venue, required props, and other information? Because they wanted the commander to also participate, the location and required props were personally matched by the commander, the company said. Qin smiled and said, well, I quite support this. After all, everyone agrees. In this case, while ensuring safety, the address should be on the beach we often went to before. The beach there is relatively fine, and it is considered the best beach in Guam. The scenery is also good. As for the props and the like, I'll leave it to you to make statistics. Just get as many as you need directly from the kitchen goddess. So the commander agreed. Enterprise asked. Haha, since it is everyone's unanimous request, then I should naturally agree. The weather is so good at this time, so it is natural to relax and play with everyone for a day or two. And if you want to hold it bigger. In addition to the swimsuit party, you can also add barbecue parties, beach volleyball, and other competitions. If you want to have fun, just have fun. Qin said. That's fine. Then I will inform them right now to provide more entertainment projects so that everyone in the port area can enjoy this party, the company nodded. Well, I'll leave this matter to you. Let's arrange the time in the next few days. Didn't there be a storm coming in the past 2 days? Qin said. Understood. It just lets them think about it and prepare what they need. Then they can start at any time. Good. My Ship Girl, My World. Author, Huangming Mu. Chapter 866. After several days of storms, the weather finally returned to its usual sunny state. The sky was cloudless, as if it had been washed away by the previous storm, and became very blue. The bright sunshine shines on the beach, and with the dazzling light, Guam finally shows its superiority as a holiday destination. Several seabirds stood on the rocks by the sea, staring sharply at the sea not far away, ready to flap their wings at any time. Suddenly a sound broke the tranquility of the beach, startling the hunting seabirds to fly out. Wow, the environment here is really good today. After the heavy rain, it is a very good choice to go to the beach for vacation. Yes, but it seems that the commander is still busy right now. It would be great if he could come with us. The commander has said that he is working now and will arrive here when the work is over, so we take advantage of this time to decorate this place first. Otherwise, when the commander comes and sees nothing here, that would be disappointing to us. Yes, this time is a good opportunity, everyone should show your best. Haha, you're not shy at all when it comes to drinking. Hey, why are you so shy? The commander is already very good, and even I can't compare to Cheshire. Cheshire, well, she was so enthusiastic. I always remember the way the commander was confused by her. Ha, isn't it nice now? I told you guys to stop chatting and quickly take out the things you received from the kitchen goddess and arrange them. The royal maid team will come over later to set up beach chairs and barbecue items. If they see us, we will come here first. It would be very embarrassing if you didn't do anything. Hi. At this time, in the office, Qin looked away from the window, looked at the documents in his hand, and couldn't help but squinting his eyes. Sky Eagle, when did Bismarck get this document? Tianying on the side put the T in front of Qin Ji and said with a smile, I just sent Z-23 to deliver it. It said that it must be checked by the commander in person. So commander, is it a very important document? Qin Ji smiled and said, it can be said to be very important, or it can be said to be not very important. Haven't we been to the secret room of Northern Union before? We found a lot of files from there. In fact, I want to transfer the server in that city to after all, the technological content of that city was far beyond that of the world we live in now. Unfortunately, there was no transportation method at that time. Unexpectedly, Bismarck saw this idea. She did not take away the server, but paid attention to the technological information there. I got a lot of interesting things that would change our lives in Minato, and now he has made a list of them and asked me if I want to research them. Ah! Commander, what are they? Tianying asked. They are some interesting gadgets, such as remote video communication systems, some drones, supercomputers and the like, Qin Ji said. Sounds very interesting, Tianying smiled. So Commander, are you ready to develop it? Of course, but there is no need to develop something like this in the experimental field. It would be too big for little use. I am going to ask Bismarck to get these data back and hand them over to Chongying and the royal family for research and development. After all, now Beiying and the others are also developing ship equipment and modifications, so there is no need to cause them more trouble, Qin Ji said. Commander, in fact, our Sardinian Empire can also develop it. Otherwise, why don't you approve this thing for us? Tianying rolled his eyes and said tentatively. Qin Ji laughed, I just handed over this project to Chongying and Royal, and then you can also participate in the research and development together. And I didn't mean to ignore you when I made this decision. After all, the number of small things like these there are relatively many. Royal and Chongying have the advantage in numbers and can study many things at the same time. In the future, if there are other scientific research projects, I will also choose suitable ones and hand them over to your Sardinian Empire. Tianying immediately blushed, I'm sorry, Commander, No need to say sorry, after all, you also want to contribute to the development of the port area, Qin Ji said with a smile. Yes, Commander. Skyhawk nodded, regaining his grace and calmness. Commander, when are you going to the beach later? After finishing the work and patrolling the port area, I guess they are still making arrangements. Anyway, the party will last for a day or two. You can go anytime. Qin Ji touched his nose and smiled. Haha, Commander, you must be shy, right? Everyone is really expecting Commander to participate in the swimsuit party, Tianying said with a smile. Qin Ji rolled his eyes, why are you shy? I've seen them in swimsuits before. This time there are just more people. And I understand their thoughts. You still have to respond when you should respond. I feel that the Commander's current appearance is very different from what Miss Guanghui said before. He is more confident and calm, Tianying said with a smile. Ahem, I'll be by your side every day, no matter what my personality was before, Qin Ji said with a smile. By the way, Tianying, are you ready for your swimsuit? Don't worry about the secretary ship, I neglected my swimsuit. I have been preparing for it before. I just wanted to ask the Commander out to play, but according to the rules of the port area, I still have to wait until I serve as the secretary ship. This wait has taken several months, but fortunately I still have time now. Sky Eagle said. Okay, sometimes I really don't have enough time to do everything. I'm sorry, Qin Ji said apologetically. It's okay, I have always understood the Commander, and since I became the Commander's secretary ship, I also understand why the Commander is so busy, Tianying said with a smile, so I hope you can do it at the next party. Relax. Haha, I hope so, Qin Ji said with a smile. Then after I finish processing these documents, let's go on patrol. Yes, Commander Skyhawk smiled. The work went very smoothly. By almost noon, Qin had finished processing all the documents. Then he left the office with Tianying and started patrolling the port area. Perhaps because of the time, there were very few people in the port area. Even when meeting ship girls, they all wore swimsuits on their way to the beach, even the destroyers. Qin greeted them with a smile and told them that he would be there soon, and then they went to the beach contentedly. It's not a long time to patrol the harbor area, especially now. So after completing a circle, the two of them stopped at the dormitory building together, ready to go upstairs to change clothes and go to the beach together. Then Commander, please wait for me when you come down later. No problem, see you later. See you later. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My Ship Girl, My World. Author, Huangming Muji. Chapter 867. When returning to the room, Qin unexpectedly discovered that Charybdis was still here. Huh? Charybdis, aren't your maid team preparing things on the beach right now? Why are you still waiting for me in my room? Qin puzzled question made Charybdis laugh. Master, originally I should be setting up those things on the beach with the maid team, but Master still needs someone to take care of him. Originally, the head maid wanted to stay, but this party is an event for all of Minato City and there is no room for any mistakes, so she asked me to take care of the master here and take you to the beach to join the party. Qin smiled and blinked. You are so distrustful of me. Hee, I didn't say that. Charybdis smiled. Qin shook his head helplessly. I just came over with Tianying to make an appointment. How could I not participate? But it's okay for you to be here. Help me pack my things and we'll go together. Yes, my master. Charybdis responded with a smile, and then started busy. However, the reason why she is here is to keep an eye on Qin. After all, basically everyone in the port area will participate this time, and there is no room for any mistakes. Qin character is a relatively big problem. Although he has changed a lot, he still has to send someone to look after everyone to feel at ease. After quickly cleaning up, Qin took Charybdis downstairs with a helpless smile. The two didn't wait for long before Tianying came down wearing his swimsuit. The white swimsuit fit well, perhaps because she wanted to avoid direct sunlight. Tianying also wore a sun hat with a black ribbon on it, which made Qin think for a moment that he had seen brilliance. I've kept you waiting for a long time, Commander, so now let's go to the party together, Tianying said with a smile. Qin nodded, looked at Tianying and said, Tianying's dress is eye-catching. Era, what's wrong, Commander? You're staring at the lady in a swimsuit, but you might be misunderstood. But I still thank you for the compliment, Commander, Tianying said with a smile. Qin waved his hand. I'm sorry about that, because the first time I saw your outfit, I thought it was brilliance. Maybe the temperament of the two of you is too similar, and you also have the sun hat. Haha, Miss Guanghui is a very elegant lady, but mentioning her in front of another lady is very ungentlemanly, Commander, Tianying said with a smile. Qin touched his nose and said, ahem, yes. Now that we are ready, let's set off together. Of course, Commander. The three of them set off towards the beach together. In fact, they didn't go very far on the way, because the best beach here is not far from the port area. In fact, Qin could see a little of it from the window in the office. Before he even reached the beach, Qin heard all kinds of laughter on the path. Sure enough, after walking through the path covered with green plants, what appeared in front of Qin and the others was a large beach. At this time, the beach was already bustling with people full of energy. Wow, the commander is here! Someone suddenly shouted, and everyone's eyes turned to Qin in an instant. Qin, who was wearing shorts, felt a little embarrassed, but had to face such a scene, so he could only put a more natural smile on his face, and waved to everyone with a smile. Soon, several people gathered around him, including Akagi, Teiho, and Atago from Chongsakura, St. Louis from Hakutaka, Royal Kauki, and so on. I just came over after finishing my work, keeping everyone waiting, Qin said to everyone, especially Dai Feng, who was the one who suggested the swimsuit party. Commander, Dai Feng is already satisfied if he can come to the party, Dai Feng said coquettishly, squeezing next to Qin, almost leaning her body against his. Although this is your suggestion, you seem to be a little too close to the commander, Akagi said gloomily. It seems that since Tiancheng stopped restraining her before, Akagi has become active again, especially towards Qin. He almost regards him as his own. Qin coughed lightly, and without leaving a trace, he temporarily left Dai Feng. He turned to the company and said, "Have you prepared all the things you asked to prepare before?" Reporting to Commander, everything has been prepared and installed and arranged by the maid team, and it is ready to start at any time, Enterprise smiled. Qin nodded, "Just wait a moment, I just came here and don't know much about this place." Understood, Enterprise nodded. Qin looked around and said to the people surrounding him, "I am here today and will not leave anywhere, and everyone's swimsuits are very beautiful. So I thought of a beach volleyball game so that everyone can have fun and have a participatory activity at the same time." Haha, Commander, this suggestion is very good. If you just play like this, it will lack a bit of fun. But how can you participate? Atago said with a smile. A group of 3 people will start multiple games at the same time until the final champion is determined. Of course, anyone can participate, including destroyers and submarines, Qin smiled. So Commander, what's the reward for the champion? Huang Hui asked with a smile. Qin was stunned. Well, a delicious meal? Or something else, I haven't thought of it yet, but do you have any good ideas? At this time, St. Louis couldn't help looking at Qin and smiled, with a cunning meaning in his eyes. Commander, how about rewarding the champion with an oath ring? For it. Good idea. I agree. Marvelous. Suddenly, several families were happy and some were sad, or perhaps only one was sad. Although most of the ship girls surrounding Qin are his wedding ships, there are also ship girls like Akagi and Dai Feng who have not received rings. If the reward is really a ring, then they will naturally strive for it. Qin was not so happy. He was looking at St. Louis dumbfounded, his eyes full of shock. But when he saw the smile in St. Louis's eyes, he finally knew he couldn't escape this time. Ahem, it's okay for you to win, but what if the winner is a submarine or a destroyer? Qin said quickly. I'm willing to admit defeat. Anyway, no gendarmerie can come to our port area. If the destroyer or submarine really wins the victory, then it is natural to issue them the Ring of Oath. However, if we are here, it will not be that simple for them to win. Dai Feng said quickly. That's what I mean too, so what do you think, Commander? Akagi said with narrowed eyes. All right. My Ship Girl, My World. Author, Huangming Mu. Chapter 868. The news that Qin was going to hold a beach volleyball match on the beach quickly spread throughout the beach girls. Especially when they heard that the reward was the Ring of Oath, all the ship girls were excited, and even some people who were originally on the wedding ship were eager to get involved. After all, in addition to themselves, there were also their sisters or lovers. Companion. If you can help them win a vow ring, that would be a very meaningful thing. The other ship girls who had not received the oath ring quickly formed a team. After all, there were already so many ship girls in the port area, but Qin had only sent out dozens of oath rings. To be fair, Who wouldn't want to stand in front of a sacred church wearing a wedding dress and be given a vow ring by their commander? And the most active ones are the destroyers. They have been looking forward to it from the beginning, because according to common sense, it is impossible for them to obtain the Ring of Oath from Qin-Ji. This time is a very close opportunity. Everyone took a deep breath. Especially under the threat of many ship girls, Qin-Ji took out 6 oath rings this time. Each of the 3 champions can get one, whether they use it themselves or give it away. The trio who are the runner-up can be divided into 2, and the method of disposal is also decided by themselves. As for the third runner-up, they can be divided into 1. When Qin-Ji asked the ship girls, what if all 3 of them wanted this ring? The answer he got was, "Commander, then it will be our business and it will have nothing to do with you." Qin-Ji couldn't help but be speechless, but he could only agree. Having said this, it would be a bit embarrassing if he regretted it again. Soon, several people who were leaders of several camps and were part of Qin-Ji's wedding ship were pulled over by Qin-Ji. "Commander, what's the matter with you? If you have anything, please tell me quickly. I have to form a team with Littorio to participate in the competition," Veneto said with some distraction. This sentence made Qin-Ji roll his eyes. "Don't you already have a ring? What kind of beach volleyball competition are you participating in?" Veneto smiled and said, "I just want to have fun. It doesn't matter if I win the championship or something." Her answer made the ship girl next to her laugh. Everyone knew Veneto's character quite well, and they were not surprised at all that she could say such a thing. Qin-Ji said speechlessly, "Stop playing around now. As the flagship of the Sardinian Empire, I still have tasks to give you." "Eh? So is this why the commander called us here?" Veneto put his sunglasses on his head, crossed his arms, and straightened his proud parts. "So what is the reason?" Qin-Ji couldn't help but touch his nose when he saw this scene. Fortunately, the nosebleed did not flow out. "We are now preparing to hold a beach volleyball competition. I believe there will be a lot of people participating. If it is just held in one venue, then I am afraid it will not end until the day after tomorrow. So what I mean is that you and I will serve as referees and be divided into 10 venues for competition at the same time. This will greatly speed up the pace of the game, just like the actual combat exercises we conducted at the Commander Academy." Hearing what Qin-Ji said, several flagships nodded in unison. "Comrade Commander's opinion is very good, and I was just about to tell you about it. In fact, I think 10 venues are just right, and we can make use of this large beach," Soviet Rosia said. "Indeed, doing this is very efficient, and it can also monitor whether everyone is cheating, ensuring the fairness of beach volleyball." This time Bismarck nodded. "But I have a question. Although I have taken over control of Chongying, I don't have a ring." Musashi looked at Qin-Ji with a smile, and his eyes made Qin-Ji feel uncomfortable. "Ahem, don't worry, you are indispensable, but I have to wait for a while. When I fulfill this reward, I will give you your oath ring by the way. Of course, as long as you are willing. If I give it to you, then if you refuse, it would be embarrassing," Qin-Ji said, touching his nose. He actually liked Musashi quite a bit. Sometimes he felt like she was like Frederick the Great, but she was not as possessive as Frederick the Great. Like an intimate big sister, she gives herself very unique opinions in her work and study. And during the period of travel, the two of them got along quite a lot, so it didn't mean they didn't understand each other. As long as Musashi was willing, Qin-Ji could still give it to him. "Haha, I finally got an accurate answer from the commander. Of course I am willing here. In other words, I want you to leave all your uneasiness, confusion, and fear to me. You only need to focus on your ideal and move forward. Rely on me more, nothing can take you away from me, my commander," Musashi said softly. "Ha, by the way, this is already considered an oath, right? I didn't expect you to be so direct," Soviet Rosia laughed. Musashi smiled and said, I don't want what I expect to slip through my fingertips again, so this time I will seize every opportunity to get back everything I have lost. Shinji couldn't help laughing when he heard Musashi's words, although it sounds a little weird. I understand your thoughts. After this event is over, I will fulfill this contract for you. Of course, the most important thing is, I'd like to ask for your guidance in the days to come. Okay, I think the small talk is over. Now it's time to get down to business. They have almost formed a team, and it's time to arrange for the game to start, Bismarck said with a smile. Indeed, inform everyone to gather. Before we start, I will explain the rules first to avoid causing other things later. Shinji nodded. Yes. Soon, under Bismarck's call, everyone gathered around. Shinji was speaking to the excited ship girls from a relatively high position. I'm very happy that everyone can actively participate in this beach volleyball competition. I believe everyone knows the rewards of this competition, so I won't be indifferent here. No matter who wins the championship, runner-up or third place, they will receive the oath ring given by me. Of course, if anyone doesn't want it at that time, you can propose it to me, or you can give it to others, etc. The hosting rights this time will be all yours. In addition, the rules of this competition are very simple. The current flagship leaders of the 9 major camps and I are the referees this time. Teams that have been formed can register for the competition with us. The 11-goal format will be used. Whoever gets 11 points first who wins. During the competition, you are not allowed to use any ship capabilities. You must rely entirely on your own strength to participate in this competition. This is fair to everyone. There is not much else. I wish you all a happy time, so you can start now. Oh. My Ship Girl, My World. Author, Huangming Muji. Chapter 869. What a pity, why don't 4 people form a team this time, so we can team up with Z-23. Javelin looked at the number in his hand and said to Ayanamai and Lafite. Perhaps it's because the 3 of them are more competitive, Ayanamai said. The unicorn isn't here either. Lafite said a little listlessly. The unicorn was taken away by Sister Guanghui. She is my adopted sister, Javelin said, so we have to work hard this time. There are many strong teams. I am also prepared to win the championship when the time comes. So there's the ring of oath. Well, although the wish is pretty good, it's not something that can be solved with hard work, right? Ayanamai said. Even if you say that, you have to work hard. When Javelin was about to give a speech, a cold voice came over. Group number 53, Javelin, Lafite, and Ayanamai, versus group number 54, Cleveland, Baltimore, Bremerton. Ah, how could our opponent be them? We are going to be finished this time, the Javelin let out a mournful cry. As we all know, in the port area there are elegant ladies like Xiang Guanghui, and there are energetic ones like Javelin, but Baltimore and the others belong to the most special category. Although Kanban girls are all girls, they are very boyish and like sports. Bremerton is particularly good at tennis, while Baltimore and Cleveland are very good at basketball. Obviously the opponent came prepared this time, otherwise they wouldn't have formed such a fierce team. You must know that Cleveland has always teamed up with his sister. It seems that this time he is determined to win the pledge ring. We have no choice but to go up like this. Although we may lose, we must not lose to them in terms of momentum. Javelin turned around and cheered to his companions. Well, come on. Lafite said confusedly. Come on, although Ayanamai tried to cheer herself up, she still looked lazy. Well, the future is slim. Javelin lowered his arms and walked towards the arena. And this scene is happening everywhere. Some people are happy, while others are naturally sad. There are only so many people in Minato City, and everyone usually knows each other relatively well, and everyone has a good idea of what they like to do. Therefore, Many people know that they cannot win the championship this time, so they just invite a few close friends to participate and have fun together. Of course, there are also some people who have other purposes, such as the Queen's team, headed by War Exhaustion, Elizabeth, and the Valiant Trio. They are purely for fun. Although the slogans were loud, no one had any expectations for them, not even themselves. In addition, there is the majestic team composed of Rome, Empire, and Lit Oreo. Lit Oreo is just to show off, while Rome wants to let everyone in the port know the majesty of the Sardinian Empire, and the Empire is a he looked confused, obviously being roped in to make up the numbers. But in addition to these teams, there are naturally teams that have the same ability to win the championship as Cleveland. For example, the hunting team is composed of Minneapolis, Alabama, and Massachusetts, and the bunny team is composed of Washington, North Carolina, and South Dakota. In fact, Chin Ge was very confused as to why the team formed by Washington was called the Bunny Girls. When North Carolina told him the specific reason. Even though Chin Ge had experienced many scenes, he couldn't help rolling his eyes, but he also made an agreement with North Carolina. As for what the agreement is, only the two of them know it. Of course, other camps also have very strong teams, such as the Royal Knights composed of the Prince of Wales, the Duke of York, and Hao. The Sword team composed of Cao Sheng, Maya, and Zhou Kai. There are also the Princes team composed of Prince Eugen, Prince Heinrich, and Prince Albert, which are all favorites to win the championship. In short, there is a lot to watch in beach volleyball this time, which makes Chin Ge want to put aside his status as a referee and become a bystander. But the words had already been said, and changing one's mind temporarily would have bad consequences, so I could only hold my nose and accept it. However, sitting in the middle of the tennis net, watching the two teams jumping and running from a high position, especially when they were wearing swimsuits, Chin Ge still let out a heartfelt admiration. Summer is so nice. The swimsuit is so awesome. The ship girl is really great. But after sighing, you still have to settle down and do the refereeing work, record the winning and losing moments of each team, and make the final decision for each game. With so many games starting at the same time, the games go very quickly. It didn't take long for them to enter the fierce knockout round. When the time came to the afternoon, the top 32 had already appeared. What surprised Chin Ge was that the team composed of Shimekaze, Suriga, and Ki was actually among them. What's more, the Cerberus team composed of Yukikaze, Yutaki, and Shiger are also among them. But overall, it was White Eagle and Royal, and Chongying took advantage of the number of people, so there were still quite a few teams left. Since there are already 32 top teams, there is no longer a need to compete in 10 arenas at the same time. Chin Ge immediately reduced the number of fields to 4, allowing the top 32 teams to be redrawn and divided into 4 groups A, B, C, D. The final champion was determined according to the Swiss round format. When the results came out, everyone agreed with the results. The championship was naturally won by the team composed of Cleveland, Bremerton, and Baltimore. As for the runner-up, it was more surprising. Unexpectedly, Prince Eugen and the others won the runner-up. This made Admiral Hipper grit his teeth as his sister. After all, his team was eliminated by his sister, and Prince Eugen was already on the wedding ship. There is a high probability that the ring this time will fall on Hein. On the hands of Prince Rich and Prince Albert. This is really resentful. Surprisingly, the third place was won by the team composed of Daifeng, Yuxian, and Sirius. In fact, Chin Ge doesn't know why these three people team up together. Logically speaking, Yuxian should team up with Ninghai and Pinghai. After all, the three of them have the best relationship. Even if it wasn't Pinghai Ninghai, she should be Deng Huang's ship girl. He couldn't figure out why he teamed up with Daifeng even if he tried hard. And he heard that this team was composed of Daifeng, which made him even more strange. When did Daifeng and Yuxian become good friends? And what happened to Sirius? Logically speaking, we should form a battle-made team with Sheffield and Dido. But no matter what, they still won the final victory. Although they were only the third runner-up and could only get one oath ring, at least they still gained something. Others were a little disappointed, but they soon came around because the volleyball game was followed by a more enjoyable barbecue party. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My Ship Girl, My World. Author, Hwangming Muji. Chapter 870. Time flies by very quickly. If you don't pay attention, it's already dusk. Shin Ji looked at the sky and said with some emotion. Haha, that's all because everyone in the Minato area is very active in participating in the competition. Almost everyone participated this time, right? Huang Hui asked with a smile. Shin Ji smiled and said, that's not necessarily true. I didn't see Nagato and Amagi. Tian Cheng on the side couldn't help but smile. Sir Shenzi pays attention to his own manners, so he did not participate in the competition, and I am more because the Lord has made a lifelong promise with me, so I will give this opportunity to others. More besides, my body doesn't allow me to do such strenuous exercise. Qin Ji looked at Tian Cheng and said, actually, Tian Cheng, I have also considered your physical problem. Although this problem is still a big problem that troubles us so far, I have discussed a possibility with Helena before. That is, the ship uniforms you are wearing now are not static. Of course, the ship uniforms I am talking about here are not the main guns and weapons that you can change at will, but the ship uniforms of the warships you represent. Take modification as an example. You can see that many ships have completely changed their appearance after modification. Such changes are more from the changes in your prototype ship, and the appearance changes that extend from this. But one thing is very interesting, that is, no matter what kind of transformation you undergo, your soul memory and consciousness are still the same as your current body. So is there a possibility, that is, to replace all your ship equipment and use brand new ship equipment to form your own prototype ship, so that you do not have to suffer the damage caused by the broken keel of the previous prototype ship? On fire. This, Lord, this possibility is probably very slim, right? Tianquan's eyes showed a look of surprise, but he quickly thought of something and returned to his previous composure. Yes, Commander, such a change involves a lot of things, not only the mastery of Rubik's Cube technology, but also the mastery of ship-mounted technology. Many of these technologies are beyond the reach of our current port area. Hood on the side he nodded and said, I think the commander's proposal is very novel. The body composition of a ship girl actually seems to be very different from that of a human being. But if we turn steel into flesh and blood, we can clearly feel the similarities. With the advancement of medical technology, human body parts can be artificially replaced if they become necrotic or abnormal. So on the contrary, will the body of the ship girl have the same effect as the technology we master becomes more and more advanced? I think the combination between us and the mental Rubik's Cube is full of possibilities. If the answer to the original world is correct, then the energy represented by the mental Rubik's Cube comes from the high-dimensional world. And the energy we are releasing now is only a small part of it. If we can truly master this energy, can our strength be further improved? In short, I think we should not be limited by our current vision. We should work harder to explore and master more technologies. This will be a very beneficial help for the development of our fleet and for the enemies we will face in the future. King George V said with a smile. Oh, I didn't expect that the royal family, which is known for its tradition and conservatism, would be so far-sighted and forward-looking. Prince Eugene looked at King George V in surprise, a little surprised by the views she just expressed. As we all know, in the port area, the camps that can constantly research new technologies and accept more changes, apart from Iron Blood, are Northern United, Chongsakura, and White Eagle. Haha, although we respect tradition, it does not mean that we will not accept new thinking. Being stubborn will only accelerate your own end. Keep accepting new things and find common ground between them and yourself. Only in this way will you be prosperous. Never fade, said King George V. When you say something like this, it reminds me of what the commander said before about Great Britain in another world. It seems that they did not grasp and understand what you said, Prince Eugen said with a smile. Although the tone was full of ridicule, no one heard the malice in it. King George V smiled and said, a country has too many constraints, many different opinions and forces, and it becomes very conservative while trying to reconcile each other, and even makes some wrong choices. There is nothing that can be done about it. Matter. But we are not a country now, but a group. There is a clear leader in our group, and our group is united sincerely. If this is the case, then what else can we worry about? Oh, interesting. Prince Eugen rolled his eyes and said with a smile. Ahem, you have taken the topic too far. As I said before, although this is just an idea now, it does not mean that it has no possibility of practice. Qin Ji said, although our current tasks are it is to defeat the Sirens, but after defeating the Sirens, we still have to continue to exist, so we cannot regard defeating the Sirens as our goal, but only as a small process in our journey. Just like when I named the Grand Fleet, our dream will always be the stars and the sea. If one day we can break out of the limitations of the Earth and travel among the real sea of stars, then the stage waiting for us will be even broader. So the day when any idea can become a possibility, we should be full of hope, as the ship girls in the Research Institute are also working hard on this possibility. What the Lord said is that I am also looking forward to the day when I can be with you without any worries, Tian Cheng said with some emotion. Haha, this topic everyone is talking about is a bit too heavy. Now is the time for rest and entertainment, especially under such a beautiful sunset, Hood said with a smile. That's right. Qin Ji touched his nose. I seem to smell the smell of roasted meat. At this time, a voice came over with a smile, and Belfast came to the table here carrying a plate of barbecue. Master's nose is really sensitive. These are newly grilled meat skewers. Please taste them, ladies and master. Qin Ji looked at the kebabs on the table with a smile and said to Belfast, has everyone else eaten? We are not in that hurry. Haha, don't worry, master, we have prepared a lot of grills this time, enough to supply everyone in the port area, Belfast said. That's good. Qin Ji nodded. Who is barbecuing? The maid team also has some young ladies from Chongying and several young ladies from Taishui and Donghuang, Belfast replied. Qin Ji nodded. I'll go see them later. Yes, master. My ship girl, my world. Author, Huangming Mu. Chapter 871. Saying goodbye to Guanghui and the others, Qin Ji came to the barbecue stall under the leadership of Belfast. The first thing that caught his eye was a figure that was devouring food. The iconic white hair and dog ears made Qin Ji recognize who it was at a glance. It's so delicious. Just as 11 Li was devouring her food, Qin Ji's big hand suddenly placed on her head and then rubbed it. Zili was stunned for a moment, then turned around and saw a familiar smile appearing in front of his eyes, which made Zili's eyes suddenly brighten. Then he stretched out his half-eaten meat skewer and said to Qin Ji, Commander. Qin Ji smiled and waved his hand. I have eaten. Did you just start eating? Yudaki chuckled. I've been eating it since the beginning. Qin Ji was stunned for a moment, then smiled and said, if you think it's delicious, just eat more. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I prepared more ingredients this time. Well, thank you, Commander. 11 Li nodded happily, even his tail kept wagging. Qin Ji smiled and touched her head. So who do you think makes the most delicious food? Well, they are all quite delicious. 11 Li thought for a while and said to Qin Ji, so Commander, do you want to eat too? I can share some with you. No need, you can eat it yourself. I'll go over and see how they're doing. Qin Ji shook his head. Yeah, after 11 Li answered, he began to eat again. Qin Ji couldn't help but shook his head, and smiled at each other. The two left Zilly together and continued to move forward. Soon we arrived at the barbecue area, where the aroma of cumin and meat was wafting in the air, especially as we got closer to the grill. The aroma became extremely strong. Even Qin Ji had eaten a few skewers before, but when he smelled such a smell, his throat couldn't help but swallow. Well, it smells so good. I feel a little hungry again, Qin Ji said, looking at the grill in front of him. Haha, if Commander is hungry, I'm almost done. Why don't I get you 2 skewers first? Ning Hai said with a smile. Ha, then this is a good relationship, but then again, does this count as jumping in line? Qin Ji said with a smile. It doesn't matter, because even if you take it from here, it will be taken directly to the table over there, and then divided among everyone. It does not mean that it will be taken directly from here to everyone, Ning Hai explained. Qin Ji nodded suddenly. I asked why 11 Li stayed at that table and didn't come here. It turned out to be like this. While talking, Ning Hai handed 2 skewers of grilled meat skewers to Qin Ji. Qin Ji reached out to take them, said thank you with a smile, and handed 1 skewer to Belfast. Master, thank you very much for your consideration, but I really don't want to eat this, Belfast said quickly. Qin Ji was stunned. Don't you like barbecue in Belfast? I'm not too interested in barbecue, Belfast said with some shame. Qin Ji suddenly said, I just asked you why you have been responsible for this today. It turns out you are not interested in this. Yes, master, so I'm really sorry, Belfast said. It's not like everyone has their own preferences. You can't impose your preferences on others just because you like it. Belfast is already very good, and it's me who should be sorry. After all, we get along. It took me so long to realize that you don't like barbecue, Qin Ji said. Master's words are strong. Haha, I told you two not to show off your affection here, otherwise we will be very jealous if we see you. Chitos, who was not far away, said with a wink. Qin Ji couldn't help but smile, put the meat skewers handed over by Ning Hai into his mouth and took a bite. Well, Ning Hai's craftsmanship is really good, the outside is crispy and the inside is tender, delicious and juicy, and the seasoning and heat are good. Haha, the commander praised me too much. In fact, I learned all my cooking skills from Sister Yuxian. It's just that Sister Yuxian can't make it on this occasion today, otherwise it would be more delicious. Ning Hai laughed. Road. Qin Ji nodded. Yuxian's cooking skills are indeed delicious, no matter who he is. Speaking of which, do you think Donghuang's commander-in-chief Yuxian can cook? Definitely, because our memories are all passed down, and this is the most fundamental, Ning Hai said with certainty. Qin Ji smiled and said, I think so. While several people were chatting, Belfast's communicator suddenly rang. Yes, Miss Enterprise, Belfast said. Okay, no problem, where are you now? Belfast looked solemn. I'll bring the master over right away, please wait. After Belfast finished speaking, he hung up the communicator and turned to the confused Qin Ji. Master, I may want to disturb your enjoyment. Qin Ji's eyes narrowed. Something happened at the company. Belfast shook his head. It's not what you imagined, but this matter requires you to come forward in person. It concerns the ships of our fleet and Ember's ships. Qin Ji was stunned. What's the matter with you, Yan? How about we walk and talk? Belfast asked. Good. Qin Ji readily agreed, and the two of them said goodbye to everyone who was having a barbecue, and walked towards the target location mentioned by the company before. On the way, Belfast told Qin Ji the details of the matter, but the more Qin Ji heard about it, the more outrageous it became. His expression changed again and again, and finally he sighed again. Forget it, We'll talk about it when we get there. Yes. The two quickly arrived at the place the company said was a patch of trees not far from the beach. It was a very shady place, suitable for taking a nap when the sun was strong at noon. But at this moment, Enterprise was standing with her arms akimbo, and two figures in swimsuits were kneeling beside her. The two of them looked like the same person in terms of appearance and movements. Seeing the arrival of Shinji and Belfast, the company's stern face began to regain its warmth, and he saluted Shinji. "Commander, I'm very sorry to disturb your enjoyment, but you have to do this in person." "Solve." Shinji nodded, then took a few steps forward and looked at the two figures kneeling on the ground. "Ahem, tell me, how many shots did you take?" "Your Excellency, Commander, we really didn't take many pictures." "I dare to use the name of my royal ark as a guarantee." Shinji's royal ark immediately raised his head and said, his tone was so sincere that Shinji believed it more or less. "Really, Commander Shinji, we were caught by the company just after we got here." Ember's royal ark also raised his head and said, his tone still very sincere. Shinji turned to look at the company, his eyes full of questions. "Commander, the memory of their two cameras is full, and look here." Enterprise said and took Shinji to the nearby bushes, and under the tree, there were clearly two pools of blood. Shinji took a breath and his eyes became cold. "Enterprise, lock these two people up for a month first, then leave the embers to me." "Yes, Commander." My Ship Girl, My World. Author, Huangming Muji. Chapter 872. Seeing the two of them being dragged away by the company, Shinji couldn't help but rolled his eyes. Although he had heard about it before at the Commander Academy, he had never seen it with his own eyes. Moreover, since the summoning of his own royal ark, he has been quite restrained and has not shown much idiosyncrasy. At that time, Shinji naively thought that maybe because of his better character, he could get a relatively normal royal ark. But after all calculations, he still missed one thing, that is, the characteristics of all ships are innate, and it is impossible to replace them. In other words, Ark Royal has been pretending and has not shown another side of itself. But this time the swimsuit party completely exposed her, and what Shinji didn't expect was that Ember's Ark Royal also had the same habit. After experiencing such a dark history and such endless battles, he could still maintain such an intriguing nature. Shinji didn't know what to say. "Belfast, I finally understood something today." Shinji looked into the distance in a daze and said with a deep voice. "Master," Belfast was a little confused. "What does it mean that a country is easy to change, but a character is hard to change?" Shinji rolled his eyes. "Think about the embers that came to our port area. Each one has experienced a dark history and endless battles. Everyone is silent. Except when necessary for work, he rarely appears in front of others. But today, an alien finally appeared among them, and I personally sent him to the solitary room." Belfast couldn't help but chuckle. "Does the master feel a little disappointed?" Shinji shook his head and laughed. "No, I feel very happy. That's because even after a long battle and experiencing many blows, they are still a ship girl. They have things they like and have themselves. His personality has not turned into a machine that fights for the sake of fighting, as I thought before." It turns out that this is what the owner has been worried about, Belfast suddenly realized, "but I think this worry is unnecessary, and I always have a feeling that these embers have another purpose. It cannot be said to be malicious, but I always feel that their purpose is not simple." Shinji smiled. It seemed that not only those camp leaders but also Belfast were aware of it. "Although I already know what their intentions are, is it too obvious? Aren't they afraid that their purpose will be known to them? Or do they have other ideas?" Shinji frowned, but relaxed after a while. It was better not to think about it for the time being. Today is leisure time. Wait until tomorrow to ask these things in person. Go back, It's getting dark soon. Are you ready for what I arranged before? Qin asked. It's been prepared, and these are all done in secret. Only the maid team knows about it, and no one else knows about it. Belfast smiled. That's good. I believe they will be very happy to see such a scene, right? Qin said with a smile. Definitely, these are the owner's wishes. I think it is very appropriate for the swimsuit party to end with the scene, Belfast said. Ha, then I'll trouble you, Qin said with a smile. As the sky gradually darkened, the laughter on the beach showed no signs of stopping. On the contrary, as the sky gradually darkened, a large bonfire was lit on the edge of the beach. Everyone gathered around the bonfire, some singing and some dancing, but most of them sat together and chatted. It feels so good to live a day like this. It would be great if it were like this in the future, Mikasa said with some emotion. We are battleships, and fighting is our destiny. It is very luxurious to have days like this when we are busy. I don't look forward to having days like this every day. As long as I am tired and sleepy, I can taste this kind of life. I am already satisfied with my time, Ganget said, shaking his head. Haha, Ganget is still the same, Aurora said, but you are right. Overly leisurely days will make people lazy and unmotivated. It is better to bring a little passion occasionally. Yes, there are no siren ships around the port area now, which makes me a little boring lately. Although I have a fulfilling life every day, I always feel like something is missing. Sure enough, fighting is our nature sitting there. Scharnhorst said next to him. Haha, you Iron Blood and Northern Alliance are really, in fact, I have always hoped to live such a life, even though this is a luxury in itself, to be able to live in peace with the younger generations and watch them grow up. For those of us, as a human being, that's enough, Mikasa smiled. Perhaps, it is precisely because of this longing that we fight bravely on the sea to protect this hard-won peace, so we are not so much attackers as guardians, Kang Long smiled. By the way, where is the commander? Are you surrounded again? Aurora asked. I don't know, but I think he must be very busy. After all, he is only one person, and he has to take care of so many of us. Everyone's emotions have to be taken into consideration, and to be honest, it's really tiring, Feng Xiang said with a smile. Well, our commander is a very good person, which I very much agree with. But one thing is that he has too much to worry about. In fact, we can handle our own affairs, Scharnhorst said. This is also a kind of love. After all, no one doesn't want others to care about them, right? Langley smiled. Right. At this moment, there was a sudden burst of sound on the sea in the distance. Happy Beach suddenly became silent at this time, and everyone looked towards the place where the sound came from. But at the sound of the explosion, a bright light suddenly flashed, rushed into the sky at an extremely fast speed, and then exploded in the dark sky, turning into a very beautiful fireworks. Are these fireworks? I thought it was a siren attack. But it's so beautiful. Who prepared it? Why wasn't there any advance notice? For a time, various sounds sounded one after another. Although everyone felt a little surprised, they were still very surprised by the fireworks blooming in the sky. Then, more dense sounds began to appear, and bright lights quickly shot up into the sky, exploding into beautiful fireworks in the sky. Commander, you are not surprised by this matter at all, so you are preparing this, not far away, Dai Feng asked with a smile. Qin touched his nose and said, no matter who prepared it, I think this should be the most beautiful ending, right? Yes, it's beautiful. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My Ship Girl, My World. Author, Huangming Muji. Chapter 873. After yesterday's carnival, Everyone's mood has not yet been adjusted today. At least Qin heard more laughter from the port area than before. Maybe this is a good outcome from this swimsuit party? No matter what others think, Qin hopes so anyway. Putting down the documents in his hands, Qin couldn't help but stretch and said to Tianying, who was sorting the documents at the side, "Tianying, I won't be patrolling the port area later. Please inform Helena of Ember for me. Let her come to my place." Eh? Is there something wrong, Commander? Could it be that it was rumored yesterday that you had locked up Ember's ship girl? Tianying asked doubtfully. That's indeed the question, but besides that, I have something else I want to ask her. It might take a long time, so I won't be able to patrol today, so I can only ask you, Qin said. I understand, Commander, I will contact Helena of Ember immediately, Skyhawk said. After Tianying finished sorting the documents in the office, he left to patrol. Qin sat at the desk, reading a book and waiting for Helena's arrival. Not long after, there was a knock on the door, and Helena's figure appeared at the door. Please come in. Qin raised his head and said, putting the book aside casually, sit down and talk. Commander Qin, I heard from Tianying that you have something to do with me. Could it be something about the Royal Ark? Helena said with a smile. If it's about her, you don't actually need to tell me. Although our Embers are an organization, our structure is very loose. I believe you can see it after so long. Every member has something to do. We are gathered here through the concept of being together, and it doesn't necessarily mean who has to listen to whom. So you have to be responsible for yourself. Since she did such a thing, she should accept your punishment in Minato. Qin glanced at Helena, so you guys have no objections to my handling? No, or I hope you can lock her up longer, Helena said. Qin rolled his eyes. Although Royal Ark did such a thing, the crime is not that serious. What I said before was a bit harsh. Just lock her up for a few days and let her reflect. There is no need to keep her trapped. But I suggest that Commander Qin treat everyone equally. Since he has made a mistake, he must be punished. No matter who it is because of, or what the identity of the other party is, as long as it is in your port area, you must follow the regulations here. Come and execute it, Helena said. Okay, let's follow the rules. Qin nodded, then looked at Helena and said, recently, I heard that you have been busy with renovations. Yes, with Donghuang's materials, Helena and the others can successfully create transformation materials. Helena smiled. Qin suddenly smiled and said, I have a question for you. In the world you were in before, were there such transformation materials? Helena glanced at Qin and said, yes. Then if there is, why didn't you tell us earlier? Qin didn't have any trouble on his face, he just looked at Helena with a smile. Because it's not necessary, Helena said. Wouldn't it be better for Commander Qin to explore such a transformation himself than for me to tell you? It seems that in addition to this transformation method, you also hide a lot of things from me, Qin said. I admit that I will definitely hide something from you. For example, when you were exploring why, I told you that your current strength is not up to par. I don't have an obligation to tell you everything I know, do I? Helena said, and isn't our cooperation always going smoothly now? Qin nodded. What you said is true, but now for the development of the port area, I need more knowledge and technology. Since you chose me, there must be your reasons. Now, although I don't know why, I feel that my meaning to you is definitely more than that of an ordinary commander in this world. I would like a deeper collaboration if possible. Helena said nothing and looked directly at Qin, as if she wanted to see through what he was thinking. After a while, Helena finally spoke, if you want to get more, you have to pay a certain price. I understand this truth, but what is the price? If possible, please tell me. If I think I can bear it, then I will never give up. If I think I can't bear it, I won't mention it again in the future. Qin Ji said. Since Commander Qin Geking said this, I must have been mentally prepared. Let me tell you what the price is. Helena paused when she said this, and then word by word said to Qin Ji. BRs. Qin Ji narrowed his eyes. Can you tell me more specifically, will I join your embers together with my port and ship girl, or will I join your embers alone? Helena smiled. What's the difference? Of course there is a difference, and it is a big difference. Qin Ji said, my port and I join your ember organization, then our future actions will be constrained by your ember system, and we must always be with you, stay in one piece. But if I join you embers alone, it means that future actions will not affect my port area. What you need is my strength alone, not the strength of my Minato area. Haha, Commander Qin Ji is really smart. But you are wrong about one thing, Helena said to Qin Ji, that is, we did not ask you to join us or your port area to join us. What we need is, it's a place you can rely on. Qin Ji was stunned. Could it be that you want me to be your commander? Helena smiled. Isn't it possible? Or do you think we are not worthy? Wait a minute. Qin Ji stood up and paced in front of his desk, dragging his chin with his hand. It took him a long time to look at Helena. So your target from the beginning was me? Yes, in such a crisis situation, Commander Qin Ji turned the tide. We admire him very much, and we also need such a courageous and resourceful commander. Only in this way can we go further and achieve greater success. Many goals, Helena said with a smile. Qin Ji rolled his eyes and said, please be more serious when telling lies. Helena blinked. Isn't Commander Qin Ji moved? Tell me, what do you want to do? Why do you want to join my fleet? And what do you need me to do? Please tell me once and for all, so that we can continue to cooperate, right? Qin Ji looked at Helena. Said. Helena was silent for a moment and looked at Qin Ji. Isn't it better to be a little confused? Do you have to know everything? Yes. My ship girl, my world. Author, Huangming Mu. Chapter 874. Commander Qin Ji, have you ever thought about one thing? That is, the world you are in was clearly a numbered world before, the lowest level. Why was it suddenly upgraded to the main world level? Helena looking at Qin Ji, he asked, his words full of depth. Qin Ji rolled his eyes wildly in his heart. Why didn't he know? Song Kinga has already told me your plan in detail. If I don't know, you will really get involved, but now he wants to hear what kind of reasons Helena on the other side will give. So Qin Ji pretended to be suspicious and said, isn't it because the Arbiter came to this world? Helena shook her head. Then why did the Arbiter come to this world? Is it because of me? Qin Ji frowned. Although I am very special in your mouth and can let the ship girl evolve into a ship, but there are also ships in other main worlds, right? So relatively speaking, I am not that important to the Arbiter? In other words, it's not that important to Siren. That's wrong. Helena raised her head, looked at Qin Ji and smiled. You are very important, but you just don't know it. Qin Ji was speechless in his heart. Of course I know that I am important. I am really sorry to trouble you to personally draw up a guardian plan for me. But I still have to pretend not to know. Can you please tell me once and for all? Commander Qin Ji, the numbered world generally cannot be promoted to the main world, because only the numbered world has so many commanders, and there are no commanders in the main world. But because of you, this numbered world has undergone tremendous changes and has become the only numbered world promoted to the main world. Then think about it, if so many commanders appear in a main world, what will be the result? Helena said. Trouble? Or are there more possibilities? Qin Ji asked doubtfully. No, the possibility is a possibility, but above the possibility, it is impossible to go beyond the original rules. Now this world has obviously exceeded the original rules, so the Arbiter will come to this world to clear it. Kill the uncertainty of this world, that is to say, kill all the commanders including you. This is also the reason why they took over the Siren fleet and attacked all the major camps as soon as they came to this world. Helena said. Then why did you come to this world? Do you like this uncertainty? Or are you simply an enemy of the Arbiter? Shinji asked. Of course not. We come to this world to find the reasons for everything. Since this world has undergone such big changes, it must be unique. And perhaps this reason is what we have been looking for. Helena said. So we found you in this world, and you have lived up to our expectations. Whether it is your decision to fight, your future plans, or your acceptance of new technology, we are all satisfied. That's why we choose to cooperate with you and stay in your port area to observe you from a close distance. Shinji couldn't help but nodded. Helena was telling the truth. The purpose of their coming to the port area was indeed to observe themselves. No matter what kind of cooperation it was all to test whether they had the ability to accept it. What about the other commanders? Don't you care? Shinji asked. Maybe to you they are living people, and they have emotional changes, but to us, they are just a string of data derived from the numbered world. Helena's words were without any emotion. As long as the Siren is willing, they can use Laplace Demon to create countless such worlds. So we don't have too many thoughts about them. It's like a game world suddenly turned into the real world, but the NPCs in it are still NPCs to us and will not become players. Shinji took a breath of cold air. No wonder, I said why you embers all gathered here as soon as you came to this world. It turns out that I am that player in your eyes. Yes, you are a valuable existence, while other people and other forces do not have much value to us. We have traveled in countless worlds and experienced countless battles. To be honest, we are actually very stop being emotional. Because in addition to fighting in our lives, there is an endless pursuit, to seek a solution, to seek an unknown past. Maybe our approach seems a bit hard-hearted to you, but this is the guarantee for our survival today. But you are different. You are a person from another world. You are so unique in their programs, and you have unlimited possibilities. These possibilities are exactly what we lack. In the original world, we once had commanders, but such commanders were not real commanders. It would be more appropriate to call them teachers. You are unique, and we discover that by following you, we also have possibilities. That's why embers gather more and more. Aimless searching cannot end this battle. If life like this continues, we will only become more and more nihilistic. When we know that we don't recognize ourselves, the only end that belongs to us is the end. But if you accept us and become ours, then there are possibilities beyond all possibilities. We will no longer be alone, we will no longer be at a loss, we will unite around you, and you will lead us to find the right direction again. Commander Shinji, this is the reason why we came to you, and this is also the reason why we invited you. Helena's voice was filled with excitement, which made Shinji's blood boil unconsciously. Although you say so, am I really that special? Shinji asked. You are like a pearl now, covered in dust, but as long as you have a chance, you will disperse the dust around you and become dazzling. Not only in this world, but also on a broader stage. So don't let this world limit your vision, your possibilities are infinite, Helena said. Shinji touched his nose and said, what do I need to pay? So Commander Shinji agreed. Helena smiled. You have said so much. If I disagree again, wouldn't I be letting you down? Shinji said. You don't need to pay anything, you just need to be yourself, keep exploring the unknown, and keep growing until the end of all this, Helena said. Huh, Shinji sighed inwardly. Helena in front of him was really a perfect actress. Even though he knew why, Shinji was still moved. Because of Ember's strength. Because of what they went through. No, maybe it's just because they have been working hard, right? Then, welcome to my fleet, Helena. I have finally waited for this moment. I can lend you my power, but you must promise not to hide anything from me.